All right, welcome back, everyone. We have an update from Intellicheck, which trades on the NASDAQ under the symbol IDN. It's an identity company that delivers on-demand digital and physical identity validation solutions for KYC, AML, fraud, and age verification needs. Please welcome its CEO and director, Bryan Lewis. Nice to see you, Bryan.
Thanks. Nice to see you too, Anna.
All right, what's your update today?
So I guess 4 points really want to touch on, which I think show a couple of things. One, expanded usage within our client base, and then new markets for us. So first, I'd like to say that we had an international launch with one of the social media companies, the one we've been working with for a very long time, internationally recognized, and they've decided to use us in the UK for authenticating people. So first real proof of concept of one of our domestic clients taking us internationally, which is one of the reasons that we did start to provide authentication of documents other than our specialty, which is North American DMV issued documents. So I think a good testament to how well we did domestically that they wanted to take us internationally. The other thing, last time we spoke, we were talking about the regional banks that we've been dealing with. I'm happy to say that since that time, the regional bank with about 1,300 branches finally rolled us out to all of their branches. They were doing some final programming with some of the check scanners, which they can use to read the license for us to authenticate. That's completed. They're completely rolled out. The other regional bank that we've been dealing with, who started off using us in the digital space for account onboarding, were so enamored by the increase in applications being finished and the amount of new clients that they were converting that they decided to fast track moving everything into the bank branches. So they've got over 2,000 bank branches, so could be a fairly sizable customer when fully implemented. So we're talking through the process of that now. One thing that we have found is that that can take a while. The good news is initial tests on the company that they use for their check scanning, so far everything works very well. We should have no problems rolling that out. I'd say the third point, also sort of technology related, one of the things that we moved all of our clients onto, we gave our clients the ability to use sort of our capture experience for a digital authentication. So letting them decide, did they want to use just the back and the front, and then also facial recognition. We released tools now that allow our clients, if they so choose, to white label it. And it's much, much easier to integrate. It's really only two simple webhooks, one to send out the request and to us, and then the other to be able to get the information back. So between the white labeling and I think the easier use that we programmed into it, we've seen so far, early days yet, but across the clients, about a 16% increase in completed applications. So it seems, again, that the consumer is finding it easy to use, and maybe because it's white labeled, also it feels friendlier. So it's a kind of a win for both ourselves and our clients. And then the final update, I'd like to give sort of an organizational update, and I'm very pleased to announce that we've hired a woman by the name of Christine Elson to be our VP of Marketing. She's been at some very high growth cybersecurity firms in the past. And so far, she's been with us less than a month, and I am very excited about the changes that she's brought to, in the thought process, getting us into a lot of conferences, really spearheading that drive. And, as I've said many times, this is the year that we want to make sure that people understand who we are. We've got the client base everybody wants, but nobody's ever heard of us. So those are my basic updates, and happy to turn it over to any questions.
Great job, Bryan. We do have some questions. Quickly, Connor asks, is it possible for Intellicheck to partner with Apple or Google to help their verification efforts in mobile identification, specifically when a user uploads their ID to their mobile device?
So we're talking to pretty much people across the spectrum of that. So we are very often, we like to say we're the best identity experience that your customers never knew they went through. I would imagine that very many people listening to this have probably been through the Intellicheck experience, but didn't know it was us because most of our clients just embed us into their existing procedures. And now that we allow it to be white labeled, you'd never know. So we've always given people the ability to take our API and write their whole front end. But what we found is they're not experts at it. So that's why we decided to come out with this capture tool, because we can stay up to date on every time, a new phone comes out, we're ready for it. Whereas many times our customers aren't. But the answer to that is yes, that's exactly what we're looking to target.
Dylan and Tom both say congratulations on this new business. So how significant is this on a revenue standpoint once it's all set up?
Yeah, I think it's, I don't believe it's going to be huge. It's not trivial, but it's not going to be a massive thing yet. But the way that I look at this is it's to prove that we can do what we're doing, and they'll continue to roll us out. This is a very, very happy customer, very, very happy partner is the way that I put it, because we've helped each other almost get better at what we're doing. So to me, it's proof of concept that we can do international. People probably didn't think about it, but now it gives us more to go to our existing clients to say, look, we're already doing it. We can do this for you globally.
Dylan also asks, do you think you can still be a rule of 40 company? And what is the composition of that 40 points in terms of revenue growth and profit margin?
So, our gross profit margins still are running, north of 90%, right? And as we make sure that we're less and less hardware, bringing that down and continuing to focus on the software aspects of our company, that should probably stay that way for a very long time. So yes, I do believe we could be a rule of 40 company. I do think that we're going to start to see, more growth throughout the year. We've got some, larger clients that we expect their revenue is going to grow. Very happy with what the sales team has in the pipeline and what I expect them to sell. So between a combination of accelerating growth and maintaining the margins that we have, I think we'll easily do that.
Maddie asks, has the American social media company that signed back in October implemented the Intellicheck platform yet?
So what I'd say is any large company is generally slow going. And what I'd say is everything with every pilot that we have across all of our clients, I'd say all systems are go. And the general comments that we get from our clients are things like, we can't believe it, you folks actually do what you say you do. Or we were hoping for a 2% uplift in conversions, we've seen 20%. So the technology works. What we find though is the larger the organization, the more it takes to get everything fully live, because there's more people that have to say, okay, good, and put their stamp of approval on it. Good news is, again, across every proof of concept, it's going well, and it's now just everything is phasing in.
Simon Hall asks, how's the current interest rate environment affecting your business, specifically with regards to your new account openings?
So I think, new account openings haven't seen, I wouldn't say that they're any different as a ratio to account lookups than they were in the past. I think that we're all seeing that retail has gotten a little bit softer. If you look at, some of the, traffic analysis and other things, from some research that people are putting out, some of the large retailers are seeing less foot traffic, which always has, some impact on our business, which is one of the reasons that we're really focusing on other areas like social media, like title, very heavily in automotive, and then certainly the large focus that we have in channel partners, which is going well.
And last question from Dylan, should we expect the company to be free cash flow generative in the fiscal year of 24 and beyond?
That is certainly the plan that the CFO and I have. So, that is our goal, and that's what we're looking to do. And, we like where things are headed. That's what I would say.
Great. Well, thank you, Bryan, for joining us with this update.
Thanks. Have a great day.
Okay, everyone, stay with us. We'll be right back with an update from Kotech.